This segment is where we get a listener to submit their portfolio so our expert can review it and hopefully give them some tips to improve. And in the studio today, we have our expert, Adam Dawes. Welcome.
Don't know about expert, but thank you very much.
Oh, hold on, that undermines the whole.
Sorry. I'm talking about myself.
And on the phone, we have Equity Mates community member, Ryan. Ryan, how are you?
Hey all, how we going?
Very well. Thanks for submitting your portfolio. Keen to get stuck in today. So, Ren, do you want to take us through it?
Yeah, let's do it. So Ryan's got a core and satellite approach. 4 ETFs make up 70% of his portfolio. They're Fidelity Global Emerging Markets, BetaShares Global Cybersecurity, Hack, BetaShares Quality Leaders, and then BetaShares Global Robotics and AI. So that's 70% of the portfolio. Then we've got 5 individual stocks making up the remaining 30%. Woolies, Macquarie, Magellan, Tesla, and Endeavour. So, Dawsey,
Right.
we'd like to start with a bit of a nickname. Have you got one here?
Not that this portfolio needs saving, but I'm going to call it Saving Private Ryan. Okay? There is a couple of things that we need to look at in this portfolio.
Okay,
Nice.
Well, Ryan, before we get into how Dawsey can save your portfolio, do you want to tell us a little bit about how it came to be?
Yeah, so long-time listener of Equity Mate. Wanted to look at diversifying, learnt about ETFs a bit more, and great opportunity there. So I just expanded out of the sort of individual stocks into more ETFs and put in place a proper strategy around, DCAing into that, and just kind of have grown it from there.
All right. Well, Dawsey, where do you want to start?
Well, look, let's start with the ETFs first, and then we'll talk about the individual stocks. You've got a couple of thematic ETFs in there, and you're quite interested in cybersecurity and robotics. Is that fair to say, or are you just looking at that as a theme that's running through the market?
Yeah, theme that's running through the market, and more that tech play as well.
Yeah, okay, no, that's fine. Be a little bit careful with the thematics. I think that these things can change pretty quickly. Look, I think robotics and cybersecurity are definitely here to stay. It's just how businesses can make money out of that, and certainly Hack has done very, very well. So you should be okay with that. I do like the Global Emerging Markets ETF as well. But what I would say is that you've got some good sort of quality leaders. You've got the sort of the big cap space. I'd look for an ETF that has some small caps, global small caps inside it as well, just to sort of balance out. You've got the big stuff there, but maybe you're looking at something that has a small cap bent inside of it, and I think that's something where you could do really well with, just to round out that 4 ETFs that you've got at the moment.
Yeah, okay.
What about just some maybe more vanilla but market cap weighted indexes?
Yeah, so something like the IVV, fantastic, or you could look at there's a Qual, which you've got the quality leaders, but then there's a QSML, which is a quality small cap leaders, or there's DGSM, which is a global smalls as well. So those kinds of things, I think you could really look at that. But then you're right, looking at some of those indexes, you don't have an Australian ETF there. So there's plenty of those out there, which low MERs, it's all a race to the bottom at the moment with those guys. So you can pick one that's got a cheap MER, and you can get the ASX 200 or the ASX 300, because that leads nicely into the individual stocks. You owned Woolies, and then you got some Endeavour from that. Is that how you got the Endeavour shares?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, got spun out. Okay, and Tesla. Why are we owning Tesla? Do you drive one?
I do drive one, yeah.
Okay, well, there you're putting money where your mouth is. So, okay,
That's it. Well, I just, he's losing part of his legacy now, but really liked what Elon was doing.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty volatile stock, but I've done well so far.
Yeah. Oh, look, I think, you're right. There's too much social media stuff, and maybe rightly so, about what's going on. EV sales around the world have fallen or have stagnated a lot. So even before he sort of came out and did all those weird things, EV sales were slowing. So it's something to potentially be mindful of going forward. Yeah. But I think if you drive the car, then you like it, and so it's not a bad investment for you as well. And then the Macquarie and the Magellan, sort of, Macquarie's fantastic business and great stock. What's the plan with the Magellan?
Yeah, partly wanted to pick your brains on that one. I've always had the philosophy of, just hold. Either it'll never probably come back to what it was, or if it does, it'll take a very long time. And it's eroding my opportunity of being able to sort of just sell off and go into something that will return. Maybe it's the stubbornness in me that's just holding it. So yeah, keen to pick your brains.
Yeah, I mean, you can get emotionally attached to certain things and emotionally attached to stocks, and certainly a lot of people do. But you've got to basically look at, for fund managers, you've got to look at inflows. And if there's outflows happening, then you should really be moving away from it. If there's inflows into a managed fund, then that's a real positive, and that's where you should be looking. So do some research. They do it every month. They give you the inflows and the outflows. Just take a look at that over the last coming couple of months, and then you should be able to make your own decision on that one.
I think something to think about, Ryan, as well, when it comes to these stocks, and something that I took a while to really comprehend, because I was the same, would just hold on to things until they effectively became so meaningless in the portfolio. But there's always an opportunity to do something else with the money that's sitting there. And I think you kind of just touched on it there. And so emotionally attaching yourself to it, thinking that, it might get back to where it was, like it may never, and you've just wasted a significant amount of time
And opportunity
where that could be sitting somewhere else. So I think, to Adam's point, have a look at Magellan, have a look at the flow of funds, and you might be able to make a decision.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
The takeaway for me here, Adam, it really is that there's a good sort of satellite overall, but perhaps some more index-based long-term bottom draw ETFs to kind of even out the thematics there, because as we talk on the show a lot, these thematic ETFs are not something that you want to be putting in the bottom drawer and just sitting there.
With some of these thematic ETFs, you almost think of them as individual stocks, in the way that you just keep checking them and what's the sentiment around the theme, and is the thesis still there, because we've seen a few thematic ETFs or a few themes over our time turn pretty quickly. Yeah. Lithium.
Marijuana.
That
was a big one.
That's a deep cut. Yeah. And that's not to say they won't run for a long time. Like I own Hack, and it's been great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really, the whole time we've been doing this podcast. But just be mindful that if the sentiment turns, the ETFs turn as well.
Yeah, no, I was very conscious of that, but I think you touched on it before. Like the ETFs that I've got, they're pretty strong themes at the moment, and got a lot of runway in my view.
Yeah. Well, high conviction.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, love it. Well, Ryan, thank you for joining us. Did you have any final questions for Dawesy while you've got him?
Can we come up with another nickname?
No.
You'll have to resubmit your portfolio once you made the changes.
I'll make some adjustments and we'll go again.
Yes, nice. We'll keep us posted. But Ryan, thank you so much for submitting, and we really do appreciate you listening to the show and taking the time today to come on and share your portfolio with the rest of the community. So thank you so much.
Thanks, gents. It was great.
Thanks, Ryan.
And thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
If you would like to submit to Pimp My Portfolio, head to equitymates.com/contact. All the information is there. And if you would like to speak to Adam and the team or any of our other advisors, head to equitymates.com/advice. But that's not all. Adam is doing a professional portfolio health check, where you'll get a personalized investment portfolio review, expert guidance that is aligned with your goals and risk profile, and a tailored statement of advice, all for $750 plus GST. So head to equitymates.com/advice if you're interested.
I will say this about investing. Everything you do learn is cumulative. What I learned at 20 is useful.